Welcome to English Podcast. Subscribe our channel for more update.
Let's talk about something we've all felt. You start learning English, you're full of energy, you're excited, and then a few weeks later, poof, that energy's gone. You are definitely not alone in this. It's probably the biggest challenge learners face. So today we're going to break down some simple but really powerful ways to keep that learning fire alive. Some days that fire just feels, well, more like a tiny flickering spark, doesn't it? You know you should study, but you just can't find the energy to do it. We've all been there. But what if I told you we could learn how to protect that little spark and help it grow back into a real flame? Okay, so first things first. We have to be on the same page. What even is motivation? It's not some big, complicated psychological thing. No, it's actually way simpler and way more personal than that. At its heart, motivation is just your why. I mean, why did you start learning English in the first place? Maybe your why is to travel and talk to new people. Or maybe you just want to watch your favorite movies without needing to read subtitles. Whatever that reason is, that personal goal, that's the fire. That is your motivation. So how do we keep that fire from burning out? Well, we stop trying to build a giant bonfire all at once. It's too much. Instead, we're going to focus on adding one tiny piece of wood at a time. Let's look at how this builds momentum day by day. The secret is all in changing your perspective. Just look at the difference here. A goal like speak English fluently? Wow, that feels huge. It's so far away, it's almost scary. But what about a goal like learn one new word today? Hey, you can do that in like 60 seconds. And when you finish that small, happy goal, your brain gets this little jolt of success. You feel good. And that good feeling, that's motivation for tomorrow. This analogy just nails it, doesn't it? I mean, if you stand at the bottom of a huge mountain and only stare at the very top, you're just going to feel overwhelmed. You might not even start climbing. But if you just focus on taking that one next step and then the next one, all of a sudden, you're making real progress without all that anxiety. And here is the most important part of this whole thing. After you take that small step, you have to celebrate it. Seriously. It might feel a little silly at first, but it is so powerful. Just say, "Good job," out loud to yourself. Tell a friend what you did. You know what? Have a piece of chocolate. This builds this amazing positive loop in your brain that starts to connect learning English with feeling proud and happy. All right, so what if I told you motivation doesn't have to be this thing you're always chasing after? What if it could just happen because you're having a good time? This next part is all about making the process itself fun. Let's be honest, learning all by yourself can be pretty lonely. But when you find a study partner, it's a game changer. Suddenly, you have someone to practice speaking with, which is way less scary than talking to a stranger. And on those days where you feel super lazy, your partner can be the one to say, "Hey, come on, let's just do 15 minutes. You're a team." This is such a great life hack. Stop treating English like a boring school subject that you have to do. Instead, mix it into something you already love. You love to cook? Find a simple recipe online in English. You learn words like flour and sugar, and hey, at the end, you get to eat a cake. If you love video games, just switch the language settings to English. The fun itself becomes the reason you keep going. Now, these tips are fantastic for most days. But what about the really hard days? The days when you genuinely feel like quitting, when that goal feels completely impossible. For those moments, sometimes we need to find a deeper source of strength. For a lot of people, that can come from faith or philosophy. Let's look at a few examples of where that strength can come from. For many, words of faith can provide this incredible feeling of resilience. Take this one. So much of our fear in learning a language comes from being afraid of making mistakes, right? Of being judged. This one line, "Do not be afraid," is such a powerful reminder that it's okay to be imperfect. And that feeling of not being alone in the struggle, that can give you so much courage. Here's another example, and this one really shifts your whole mindset. When you're feeling weak or like you're just not smart enough, this reminds you that your strength doesn't have to come from you alone. It changes that voice in your head from, "This is too hard for me," to, "I can do this with help." It's a small change in words, but it makes a huge change in how you feel. And finally, this one is a source of pure hope. For those times when you've tried and you've failed and you feel like your goal is 100% impossible, this is a reminder to keep trusting the process. It gives you hope that tomorrow can be better, and hope is one of the most powerful motivators there is. Now, the core idea behind all of these words is universal. The message is that you can find strength outside of yourself, whether that's from your faith, from your family, from friends, or even just from inspirational words you read that really stick with you. The main point is this: you are not alone on this journey. Okay, to wrap things up, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Motivation isn't a straight line that only goes up. It's a cycle. It has natural ups and downs. And just understanding that is probably the biggest key to long-term success. This is so important. You have to give yourself permission to have an off day. We're not robots. We are human beings. Having a day where you have zero motivation doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're human. So please, be kind to yourself. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. A bad day is not a failure. It's just a pause. Think about it like hitting the pause button on a movie. You're not stopping the movie forever, right? You're just taking a quick break. If you try to force it and push through on those bad days, you'll just end up hating the process. So instead, just hit pause. And this shows you the whole picture. It's a cycle. You get motivated, you work and learn, and then you naturally get tired. So you rest and pause, and then, and this is the most critical step, you remember your why. You reconnect with that reason you started this whole thing in the first place. And boom, the motivation comes back around. Resting isn't a detour. It's a required part of the journey. So let this be the main thing you remember on those tough days. It is not a failure. It is not a stop sign. It is just a pause. Get some rest, and tomorrow you can press play again. Which brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? Back to the most important question of all. So take a second and really think about it. What is your why? What's the real deep down reason you want to learn English? Whatever that is, hold on to it. Because that is your ultimate, unending source of motivation.